In the third video of this lecture, I discuss what a CIO can do about the blockers. Let me give you the context of this question using our case of this week. After an IT security incident, two top business managers who disagreed with the CEO's decision got fired. The other top managers consider the CIO Jim Barton responsible. He is at a weak position. While the CEO has agreed to invest loads of money on security, firewalls, and so on and so forth, the CIO has lost its face and can bump into issue with the next projects. It is highly probable that he sees more blockers in the future, or he sees the current blockers are going to be stronger. Blockers are those managers who can influence the IT decision outcomes as they control the resources, but they have conflicting interest with the CIO. They can affect his next value adding initiatives. The question is how the CIO should reach out to these blockers. There are different ways to get blockers approval of a proposal. The first approach is rational persuasion. The CIO uses logical arguments and factual evidence to persuade the blocker that a proposal or request is viable. The second approach is consultation. The CIO demonstrates that he or she is willing to modify the proposal to deal with the blocker's concerns and suggestions. The CIO seeks blockers' participation in planning a strategy, activity, or change that requires blockers' support. A third approach is ingratiation. The CIO uses praise, flattery, friendly behavior, or helpful behavior to get the blockers to think favorably of him or her. A fourth influence behavior is personal appeals. The CIO appeals to the blocker's feelings of loyalty and friendship to get the deal approved. A fifth approach is exchange, following the motto of you scratch my back, I scratch your back later. The CIO offers an exchange of favors. He or she indicates willingness to reciprocate at a later time. The CIO may promise a share of the benefits if the blockers helps get the approval of a proposal. A fixed influence behavior is pressure. The CIO uses threats, frequent checking, or persistent reminders to influence the blockers to do what he or she wants. Finally, the last influence behavior is coalition tactics. The CIO seeks the help of others to convince the blockers to do something. The CIO may also uses the support by the allies as a reason for the blockers to support the proposal. N and his colleagues surveyed CIOs and have found out that consultation and coalition tactics are not significantly influential. They also found out that pressure and exchange of favors have significant negative effects on the outcome. Finally, they have found empirical support for the significant positive effect of rational persuasion and personal appeals. The ingratiation tactic had to be dropped from the study due to measurement issues. Therefore, its effect is unknown. Therefore, my recommendation to Jim Barton is to convince blockers to support proposals using rational persuasion, that is, logical arguments and factual evidence, as well as personal appeals to feelings of loyalty and friendship. I Suggest Jim Barton avoid exchange of favors and pressure as much as possible. Pause here for a minute and answer this quiz. In the next slide, I will discuss spotting emerging technologies.